Hello and welcome to Solidworks Station. My name's Stuart, and in today's tutorial we're going to look at Model Mania from the year 2004. This is going to be phase one of the particular design competition that they hold at Solidworks World each year, and then in another tutorial we'll look at phase two. The way that this works is at Solidworks World each year there is a Model Mania competition where people come and try and complete an engineering drawing on SolidWorks in as quick a time as possible, but as accurately as possible after they're given an engineering drawing that looks something like it does on my screen. This is from Model Mania 2004. After they finish this, they will then be given a phase 2 drawing which will look at certain modifications of the initial design to come up with a new design. So we're going to have a little go at this. If you experience any problems or any issues, drop me a comment in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to try and resolve some of your issues that you're experiencing. Best of luck everyone, and let's get started. Okay, so I've got SolidWorks open. I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to New, and I'm going to choose New Part. Now I'm going to draw this in a top plane, so I'm going to go Normal 2 and I'm going to go to Sketch. I'm going to draw a centre line to start off with, down here, like so, and I want to make this centre line vertical, and I want it for construction. Okay, I'm going to turn this centre line into a dynamic mirror entities line. So to do that I need to select it, I press my S key and I get this option here, okay, dynamic mirror entities. When I click it, okay, you can see that I get these like horizontal lines that appear. I'm going to show you how to get that into play now. So you need to be with this ribbon visible, you right click, you go to customize, I would go to shortcut bars, I would go to sketch, and then this is my sketch S key that comes up. These are all the icons that come up. To get this one, okay, you should find it in this palette here. It's there. Just left click, drag it and drop it onto that palette. Okay, and okay. When you click the S key now, okay, notice it comes into play. Okay, so you need to select this line, S key, and make sure it's turned on. Now what happens with this is when you draw a line, for example if I start to draw the shape that we've got from top view, okay, it mirrors it automatically over to the other side. If I get a line, okay, and draw a line from here to the origin, okay, SolidWorks knows that I want that to be one single line, and then if I get a 3-point arc and I draw from this point to this point and then just drop this here, I get a notification to say it's unable to create this symmetric element, but what it does do, okay, is creates one line all the way through that center line that I drew. I'm just going to trim entities. I'm going to trim to closest and just tidy this up a little bit like so, and from here I'm going to start to give this some dimensions. So I need to smart dimension this top line at 125, and I need to smart dimension from this line, hold down shift, and that will do to the edge, to the tangent of that line, to that center point there, and I need this to be 100, I think it's 100, I'll just go and check the drawing, yeah, 100, okay, so we've got 125, we've got 100, okay, let's put this radius of 75 in, so smart dimension this at 75, and then I have got an angle here of 15 degrees, I believe. Yeah, 15 degrees. Quick way of doing that in SolidWorks, we all like shortcuts, so click on this line, hold down. In fact, there's one way of doing it. This would be the long way, would be to get a center line down there, draw your center line in, smart dimension from that line to that line, and then put 15 degrees in. Okay, but I'll show you a quicker way. So smart dimension, click this line, click this point, click the down arrow, and then put in your 15 degrees, like so. Okay, and that will be the same on both sides. I just need to delete this line because it mirrored that over from before. So that's what we've got. From here, what we're going to do is going to go to Features, Extrude Boss Base, and I'm going to extrude this up by 100 millimeters for now. I know it's 50 on the drawing, but I'm going to extrude it by 100. I'm going to go an arbitrary amount of 100, and then what I'm going to do is produce a cut revolve around this to produce the feature. So I'm going to go now into my front plane, normal 2. I'm going to get a sketch of a 3-point arc. I'm just going to drop one on this side, one on this side, and then just leave that there in the middle. And I know that the radius of this is 160, so I'm going to put 160 in there. And I know the distance from the bottom of the part to that point is, let's just check the drawing, 120. Okay, so let's put that in. This is 120. Okay, I want to make this point here, hold down Control, and this point here, I want to make those horizontal. Green tick. And I'm going to put in my center line, or a construction line, for my axis of revolution for when I do cut revolve this. So I'm just going to draw my line across there, pick up my center point, which is there, hold down Control, pick that center point of the arc, and make those coincident. Okay, and green tick. Now I'm going to go into Features, Revolve Cut. The sketch is currently open. Okay, that's not a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just cross out of this. This sketch is currently open, so I'm going to go into my front plane, normal 2. Best way to solve this, go to Sketch, get a corner rectangle, and just drag a corner rectangle over this, like so, and just delete the line that we don't want. We won't experience that issue now, so we're going to go to Features, Revolve Cut. There we go, perfect. Right, it's going to classify this as 2 bodies when it cuts it. This is the body that we want to keep. This is the body that we want to get rid of. So green tick. There we go. I've identified 2 bodies. This is the one that we want to keep at the bottom. This is the one that we don't want. So go to Selected Bodies. Body 1 is the one that's highlighted now. Body 2 is the one on top. So we want to keep body 1, and OK. Okay, and that's the first bit of the design complete. Well done. Okay, so for the next part of this particular phase of modelling, we're going to have a look at creating the next bit up here. Okay, so what do I know about that? I could do it similar to how I did it before. Okay, it's a 10mm difference, so I could do the arc. I could do that at 170, 120 from the centre point, and choose to do a revolve cut after doing a boss extrude, or I could do it a different way, which would be a boss extrude and then offset from a surface, or I could do it another way, which is one of the ways I'm going to show you, which is through a hybrid modelling using surfaces. So let me just show you the quick way of doing it. So I would go into Solidworks, I would go to my top view, normal 2, produce a sketch, press my S key, and this is where I keep my offset. Remember, you can get that from the customize menu if you want to, underneath customize. So I'm going to press my S key, offset, where's my sketch? There. So S key, offset. I'm going to put in the value of 25, but it is inwards, so reverse the direction, and then green tick. Now what we see it's done here is it's produced the shape here in the center. Okay, I don't particularly want this line. What I could do is, whilst I'm still in sketch mode, I could say convert entities and convert this line, and green tick, and then from here I could say trim entities, corner, and just grab that line, grab that line, grab that line, grab that line, and then go ahead and just delete the line that I don't want, like so. Now from here, this is two ways of doing this, two ways. We could go features, we could say extruded boss base, double click on this surface and say offset from surface, and then put 10 millimeters in there and green tick. It's gone blind. We want offset from surface, this surface. Okay, reverse the offset, there we go, and green tick. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. However, although it might be the quickest way of doing it, it's not really future-proofing our design. What happens if something changes, something updates? It's quite difficult to go into this, and I mean that if that changed to 20 mil, for example, that's fine. But what happens if a length changed, or the arc changed, or the position of the arc changed? It's going to be very, very difficult in order to reconfigure this particular design. So I'm going to delete this boss extrude, and I'm going to show you another way, and this is known as hybrid modeling. Okay, so surfaces work really well when hybrid modeling, so I'm going to show you how to do the next bit of this particular part. I'm going to go to a front plane and normal 2, and we're going to go into sketch. We're going to sketch a 3-point arc from this edge to this edge, and then just drop this point somewhere on the top. Now the reason I've done this is because I want these points to remain coincident with that edge. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn on this cut revolve sketch here that we did before, because I need this one, sorry, turn on that cut revolve sketch, because I need this line here. That was the center point for the 160 millimeter radius. So I'm going to smart dimension this up at 170. I'm then going to say that this point and this point, whoops, this point and this point, I want to be coincident, and green tick. I'm now going to produce my revolve surface. So go to surfaces, revolve surface. Axis of revolution I can pick from a previous sketch, which is going to be this one, and green tick. I'm now done with this sketch, so I can go to this sketch and choose to hide that. And then with this sketch that I did before, okay, mine's called sketch 9, yours might be called something different. What I'm going to do is go to features, extrude boss base, and then choose up to surface and select this as my surface. Now what it's done here is it's actually extruded downwards. What we can do is just reverse direction and green tick. From here, in our surface bodies, you can choose to hide that in order to see what you've produced, or you can choose to right click that and delete. Okay, it's entirely up to you. Okay, you could choose to delete. However, I prefer to hide them. Some people prefer to delete them altogether. I just keep to hide them just in case I need them for later on down the line. Okay, so the next thing that we need to look at is the draft angling that is going on. So let's have a look at the engineering drawing, and we can see here there's a section going through here, BB, and when we look at section BB, we can see a little bit of a detail of what's going on. We've got two draft angles at 15 degrees, and we need to ensure that it starts at this point here, okay, and we need to ensure that we keep this 25 millimeter offset. So the way to do that would be with a parting line draft angle. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're going to go into features, into draft, and choose parting line. If you chose neutral plane, this is what not to do, and top plane, and then pick these draft angles, these faces to produce a draft angle on, what's going to happen is Solidworks is going to treat this top plane as the place to draft all of this down too. So you'll see what I mean when I press on the green tick. Okay, you can see if I just turn on my top plane, what it's done is it's drafting all these edges, all these faces down to the top plane, which is not what we want. So I'm just going to head and edit that feature. I'm going to go ahead and choose parting line. I still want my top plane, but the parting lines that I want, okay, is this bottom edge here, this bottom edge here, and this bottom edge here. That's fine because that's all going to slope up at 15 degrees, but I want to keep the distance from this line to this line at 25. So I'm not going to slope from this point, okay? I'm going to slope from this point down to this point here, okay? This edge and this edge, just make sure all your arrows are going up and these ones are going down. Keep your 15 degrees in and green tick, okay? And that has maintained that 25 millimeters there. We're now going to put our fillets in. We've got two sets of fillets here to do. We've got 10 mils and 6 mils. So let's put our 10 milli fillets in first. Let's green tick this. Okay, the 10 mils are going here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Green tick. Back to fillet. This time we're going to do 6 mil. And the 6 mils are going 1, 2, and 3. And green tick. The last thing we need to do is to shell this, so we're just going to turn round and go to shell with 4 millimeters. I'll just show you where that is. Okay, if you see here section AA, where we're split through here looking through this way, you can see there's a 4 millimeter shell that's occurring there. So choose 4 millimeters, and in here we need to choose the faces to remove, this one and green tick. And there you have it. There is phase 1 of Model Mania 2004 complete. If you struggled at all with that, drop me a comment below. I'll be more than happy to get back to you and resolve any of the issues that you're experiencing. Thank you to those that have subscribed and liked my videos in the past. Hopefully I can get some more subscribers on board with this. If you're new to the channel, don't forget you can always give me a big thumbs up as well. I've been Stuart from Solidworks Station. Please join me again for the phase 2 of this Model Mania 2004, where we'll look at manipulating this design a little further. Thank you very much everyone, and goodbye.